All right, welcome in everybody. Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series live tonight from the Williams Grove Speedway. He's joining me in the booth tonight. Still on his trial run with us, but he's getting there. Nick McGathy. Hi, Nick.
How's it going, Roger? How's everything going?
I am ready to get this thing going right here. Don't forget, guys, likes, shares, and follows. Share us on your wall. Share us on your friend's wall. Share us on your enemy's wall. We really don't care. Just get it shared out there. If you're with us via Twitch or Facebook, say hi in the chat. I can see you. Sit back and enjoy the show. These guys have filled up the server tonight. 42 cars slated to be here this evening with us. About 25 seconds, they'll get ready to go to qualifying. When they do that, you know what we do? We do the national anthem. The number one song of and in America. Going to have some fun with this tonight. Don't forget tonight, these guys racing top three, $40, $20, $10. Good series to be in. If you're not in it, reach out to Brody Wilhelm. He'll get you set up. We will get ready to go trackside and have our national anthem here in just a second.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, a big thank you to my buddy Johnny Foley for that great rendition of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, it is race time. These guys wrapping up qualifying. Braden Eiler, quick time tonight. Weston Newell, Chris Brenner, Tyler Shell. That moves as Tyler Shell bumps Braden Eiler. New quick time, 19.477 seconds. A tenth and a half better than Braden Eiler's time, and he will be the pole sitter for heat race number one. 9 cars in each heat. Looking like we're going to have 5 heat races, top 3 from each heat, going straight to the feature race, and we will fill out the field of 20 cars from the B main. That means we're going to take 5. Some of the cars showing up in just base paint, but we are going to go down through the field on the pole. In the 85 machine, that's a Elbows Up TV sponsored machine right there. That is Tyler Shell, and 2 is outside the 5 car, Chris Fisher. Row 2 on the inside, not quite gridded out yet. That is a Team Seti machine. Zane Scott, the pilot of that one. And next to him going to be Brian Cross in the 78. Inside of row number 3, the 38. That's going to be Brett Strickler, the Cognitive Warriors sponsored sprint car right there. And the Ollie's Bargain Outlet number 4 of Cody Batten going to start to his outside. Glenn Richards. It's not letting me get there. But anyway, Glenn Richards in the Shoot Awesome number 82 machine on the inside of the back row. And Jacob Bell In the lodge box, number 77 to his outside. Anthony Job not making the call yet. At least we don't see the car. He's going to get ready to roll off on the front stretch here. Going to go all the way around the pace truck. Going to take them twice around here. Let them figure out where the start line's at. Second time we come off turn 4, they'll go green. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Enjoy the show. Likes, shares, and follows. Don't forget to drop by meatfreaksjerky.com. Get you some great beef jerky there. They are the official sponsor of the Dirt Racing Network. Go by and give Jason and the folks at Meat Freaks a say hi and help support all the things that we're doing here at DRN. All right, we got 8 cars. 3 of them going straight to the feature. Everybody else gets to play in the proverbial alphabet soup. What do you think, Nick? Who's going to pick this one up?
I don't know. There's quite a few heavy hitters in here. I think last year, didn't I go last year? Last Wednesday I went with Tyler Shell, and he made quick time, so I'm gonna go with him again this week. Hopefully he can redeem me from being 3rd place last week.
Well, I don't know if I want to pick a feature winner, but I do think Tyler can probably pull this one off. I bet that 37 car is going to be very quick right here. Zane Scott, he normally pretty good here. But these guys getting ready to go green. Green flag going to be in the air. Heat race number 1 underway. Shell wasting absolutely 0 time and effort to get to the front. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8. Make it 10 car lengths when they come off turn 2. Chris Fisher around the high side slips into the second spot. Zane Scott behind that. Brett Strickler right in behind him. So your top 4 set for the first lap coming off turn 4. Making their way into turn number 1.
Zane Scott's riding the high side now, this time coming out of 2. Ryan Cross going to be to the inside this time down the back stretch. As Brett Strickler's going to be following right behind him in that 5th spot. As Tyler Shell's going to go to the inside this time off of turn number 4.
Oh, I tried to move that and it didn't move. There we go. All right, down the backstretch. We are working lap number 3 right here. Tyler Shell, 0.7 of a second ahead of Chris Fisher. Brett Strickler runs in 3rd. He got around Zane Scott. Scott's in 4th. Cross sitting there in the 5th spot. Cody Batten behind that, Glenn Richards. And I saw Jacob's Bell car catch the fence down in 3 and 4, and it slowed him down quite a bit. But coming to the 4 to go signal this time, Tyler Shell over 1 second out in front of Chris Fisher.
Zane Scott's going to be looking to make a move this time. Hopefully off 2, he can't do anything. He's going to be sitting still back there in the 4th position trying to get the transfer spot off Chris Fisher.
Still Shell, Fisher, Strickler, your top 3. Those are the direct transfer spots. Zane Scott had 3rd, gave it up, fell back behind Strickler, and he has been working very hard ever since trying to pick that back up. Just not making any headway right now. They're going to see the 2 to go. They go under the flag stand. 1.6 seconds for Tyler Shell right now. That 85 car is stroking it out here. The battle's starting to heat up. We might see a change for second if Strickler keeps closing the gap on Fisher. Fisher's running up towards the top. Strickler right down around the inside, and it still looks like there is plenty of grip coming up off that bottom as we are under the white flag. Shell comfortably 2.25 seconds out in front of the rest of these guys. The battle, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the screen. Top 3 transferring straight through. Everybody else has got a lot of work to do. We're going to see the finish. Tyler Shell going to pick up the victory in heat race number 1. Fisher going to run 2nd. And at the line, Strickler holds off a hard-charging Scott for that 3rd and final transfer spot. So heat race 1 in the books. The Meat Freaks Teriyaki Beef Jerky heat race number 1. Heat 2 coming up. Get these guys gridded out here on the front stretch for us. And the SteelCycles.com number 13, that is going to be Brandon Steele, and 2 is outside. The KRUG Home Builders, number 110, and the Cadillac man himself, that's Kevin Hanley. Row 2 on the inside, the Black Crown, number 18, or 118, excuse me, Andrew Kati. And on his outside, the Countryside Stove and Chimney, number 01, Kyle Stoltz was your third place runner on a last lap, last corner pass last week at Eldora. The 31 machine of Tyler Newhart inside row number 3. And to his outside, the IBR Sim Racing number 29 of John Bregman. Row 4 up the inside, the Mid-States number 71 of that, George Furch. And on his outside in the Mountain Dew, number 34, Chris Ridley, the pilot of that machine.
Pretty stacked heat here, Roger. Who do you think is going to pull off the win this one?
You know, if he has any kind of drive like he did last week, I would say Stoltz has got a pretty good shot outside the second row. They're going to get a really good starting spot. And he might have a decent shot to get up here. But, man, I'm never going to count out Brandon Steele. The number of times that I have actually raced with him here on this track, he's usually fairly smooth and fairly consistent. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that 13 car pick it up. And I think that's probably who I'll go with.
I was thinking probably the same thing, Brandon Steele. He's normally pretty quick when it comes to these things here.
All right, so heat race number 2, the Meat Freaks Original Pepper Jerky Heat Race. Steele and Hanley on the front row, going to go green this time off turn number 4. Again, 8 cars in this one.
Top 3 trench to the A main is this time. Brandon Steele is going to be looking for the green flag off of 4. Green flag's up, down the front stretch. Brandon Steele gets a good jump. Evan Hanley actually. Hold on 1 second.
Sitting on top. He is holding the spot down the inside. Brandon Steele in the lead. Kevin Hanley closing in right there as they headed into turn number 3. Kyle Stoltz was working down on the bottom, and he had that thing right up in there, and he's going to take the third spot away from Kati. Came off the inside, and he is running a lane lower or more than anybody else out there right now, and he is making tracks headed towards the front, and he's going to take over second by the time we come off turn number 4. Move Steele back another spot. Oh, a little out of shape. That's going to let Steele have the run on the high side. I spoke too soon. Stoltz not able to get off turn 4 that lap like he did the previous lap. So it's still Hanley, Steele, Stoltz, and Kati, the top 4.
Stoltz is still on the bottom side of that racetrack, Roger. Still trying to get the second position. This time up and 4 is going to keep Brandon Steele, who's outside. Is Stoltz running low, trying to work that low side. This time by is still going to be Kevin Hanley, Brandon Steele, and Kyle Stoltz at top 3 spot.
Yeah, coming to see 4 to go this time. And Hanley almost a full second out in front of Steele. Steele hanging on to second right in front of Kyle Stoltz. But Stoltz has got a battle on the inside. Cote looked at the slider line, wasn't able to get in there and get around cleanly. Had to back it off at the exit of 2, and he gave up about 5 car lengths down the backstretch. He is going to throw it in there one more time, and Steele got out of shape, and that stacked everybody up. They're able to keep them facing forward, but Cote, the loser in that deal, he fell all the way from 4th back to 6th, and he's in danger of dropping further. He does. He drops back to the 7th spot. We're keeping an eye on this battle at 2nd and 3rd right here. They're going to see 2 to go this time by.
Kevin Hanley's got a great lead this time down into 1 and 2 as we've seen the white flag. Going to run the high side around outside of 2. Brandon Steele still following up for that second position. Kyle Schultz following up down into 3. Running the low side for that 3rd spot, transfer spot.
Yeah. Kevin Hanley having his way with these guys right now. 1.3 seconds as he goes under the white flag. Steele and Stoltz still your closest battle. They are 2nd and 3rd right now. Both cars in the feature if they can just keep all 4 wheels on the ground. But Kevin Hanley making it look easy. He's going to come off turn 4, see the checkered flag, and he's going to win heat race number 2. Steele and Stoltz picking up. And Stoltz almost got second away, half a car. Almost got that away from Steele, but it's Hanley, Steele, and Stoltz transfer the A-main. Everybody else, a bowl, a spoon, and get in the soup line, boys. That's where you're at. All right, heat 3. The Meat Freaks Jalapeno Jerky heat race. On the pole, the Kinzer Sim Racing border tire number 005 is going to be Braden Eiler to his outside. They call him the Flying Fossil in the UDSRA High Side Raceway number 56. That's David Flick. Row 2, on the inside. The Coach's Pizza number 2 of Bryce Bailey. And his outside, the Wikers Livestock number 22 of Nathan Brown. Row 3 on the inside. The Cam 2, number 114 of Robert Ridgedale. And to his outside in the HC, number 35, that's going to be John Coots. Row 4 up on the inside here, 70 car. That looks like a throwback paint to me. I do like that. That is very plain, very simple. It is the Moose's number 70 of Jimmy Barr, and on his outside, that 6th car is Cody Brewer. So 8 more cars, top 3 straight to the feature. Everyone else into the consolation races. I'll let you pick first, and I'm pretty sure I know who you're going to pick.
Oh, I don't know about this one. I'm actually going to go with Nathan Brown. I think you're thinking I was going to go with Eiler, but I'm going with Brown on this one. He's kind of a sleeper in this one, I think.
All right. I'll give you Brown. I'll take Eiler. We'll see who comes out ahead on that one. I just think Braden likes that high side, and that high side seems to kind of be working. That last heat race, Hanley was able to run the high side and keep everybody at bay. So we'll see if the high side hustler can get himself up there right off the start. I think Eiler's got a shot at this.
Yeah, Eiler's good at running the high side. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think the bottom side might come into play later on here if the track wears in enough for us.
Yeah, it should come back sometime in the feature. It'll just continue to go away until then. But right now, heat race number 3 under the green flag. Eiler jumped on the throttle. And he's got about 3 car lengths heading down into turn 1. Goes straight to the bottom side. Flick going to the top side. He's going to try to power off turn 2 and see if he's got anything to get that 5 car in the rear view, as it were. But Bryce Bailey hang on tough in this group right now. That 2 car. Good battle right there. Eiler going to the bottom, not what he normally does.
David Flick's running the high side right behind him. He's actually going to run low here in 3 and 4, but Bryce Bailey's sticking to the outside this time. Going to see if he can get anything to work off Flick. Can't make it happen down the front stretches. David Flick's going to run in the middle of the slider line down around 1 and 2.
Yeah, Flick able to hang on to second. Eiler starting to get away almost half a second right now. But Bryce Bailey putting the pressure on the Flying Fossil right there. Bailey taking that 2 machine to the inside. Saw somebody clip the wall off turn 4. Was that Nathan Brown's car that was out of shape? I believe it was. He was way out of shape back in turns 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to settle all the way back into the 6th, 7th position back here. John Coots gets around him. But back to the battle. It is over now. Bailey got it away from Flick. Put David Flick back to that 3rd and final transfer spot. And Cody Brewer was coming in behind that. And oh boy, Robert Ridgedale's car might have encountered a little bit of fence action here. Picked this up when they were going down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Now, I actually might be the 114 that I saw clip the fence up there, and it is. I saw that car hit the fence, and I thought it was Nathan Brown's car, but it was not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Nathan got shoved to the back as well. Maybe he had a little mess up from when he got into the wall. I'm not too sure.
It looked to me like he slowed down to avoid the 114 car, and it dropped him back through the field. So that's how he ended up back there. But right now, it's Eiler, Bailey, Flick, Brewer, Coots, Brown, and Barr. Robert Ridgedale's car off track. I'm not sure this one will go back to green as they'll come around to get 2 to go, which should be pretty much the fate sealer on this heat race. So it looks like Eiler, Bailey, and Flick will be our transfer cars. Heat race 3, 2 to go. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Good crowd tonight. Thanks for that.
Got a good crowd out there. Got a whole crowd of drivers in here tonight, Roger. It's going to look like a good night tonight, huh?
Yeah, racing keeps staying clean. That was a solo spin there that brought out the caution. It just happened in front of a car, and the racing's been pretty clean, been fairly competitive. I mean, these guys that are getting out front, Clean Air, having their way with everything, but behind them, the racing's been pretty good. Not looking like we're going to have a whole lot of stuff. But we haven't put too many cars. We put 8 out there each time so far. We'll see what happens when we get to the consolation races. That's when the pressure starts to ratchet up, when these guys are facing elimination. So let's get to there, but I expect it to be a very good night. It's been so far. Track looks like it's holding up pretty well, but that is it. White flag is in the air. We're going to go around about another half a lap, and it'll be Eiler, Bailey, and Flick transferring to the A main. Brewer, Coots, Brown, Barr, and Ridgedale going into the soup. Well, Eric, this is in your backyard, man. Hey, guys, don't forget, if you are on Twitch or YouTube, say hi in the chat. We'd love to see our YouTube and Twitch followers over there. Third show of the week tomorrow night. Dirt Slingers, their Thursday Thunder Series. They are at Charlotte tomorrow night. Getting close to the end of that season. They got about 3 weeks left in that season. But Eiler picks up the win in heat race number 3. He takes Bailey and Flick with him to the feature race. We'll get ready to grid out heat race number 4 here. Oh, there is a familiar name in this one. On the inside of the front row, starting on the pole, that is the Wicked Cushion Team Study number 222 of Weston Newell. And on his outside, the Fatheads Eyewear 19 Designs, Tony Stewart Racing number 15 of Nelson Webster. Row 2 on the inside, the Monster Energy 07 of Kyle Sargent. And to his outside, the Kuhn Motorsports Long Haul number 95 of Dakota Kuhn. Row 3 on the inside, the 05, the Waffle House Machine, Sam Leto behind the wheel of that. And on his outside, the War Racing number 4 of Steve Sittler. And on the back row on the inside by himself, that car's got more information on it than I care to read. It is another War Racing machine. It's the 53 of Justin Verhey.
Well,
Stacked.
I made a wrong decision last time, but
There are 7 guys in here that can win this race. I am telling you right now, best stack of a heat race we have seen yet tonight. It is going to be really hard for me to pick one, but if I'm going to go, I think I want to say that 15 car probably going to pick the win up in the heat race right here.
Ooh, you had to take my pick too, Roger, huh?
Well, he's starting too close to the front. If he was starting 2 more rows back, I might not take that car. But since he's starting outside the front row, I'll take him. I love my boy Weston. I'm glad to see that he got out of that car that was for sale. Maybe he did finally sell that so he could get back in his real car. But I think Nelson Webster is just a little too strong here. I've seen him way too many times at this place.
You got to watch out, though.
Hey, Smitty!
Right behind him.
Oh, Tyler, you're watching over on YouTube. Also, all right, man. YouTube and Twitch guys. That's awesome. All right, Nick, we're getting ready to go green. Bring us to it.
Nelson looking for the green flag this time. Bai's going to be getting the green flag. Coming down the front stretch. Nelson going to have the stay in the second position right behind him.
Yeah,
You got Dakota Kuhn right behind him down the back stretch.
Yeah, Weston Newell got a good lead there, and he's got Nelson Webster chasing him right there. Dakota Kuhn trying to put some pressure on the outside on Webster. Seen Kyle Sargent get way out of shape. He's able to grab it back up. Everybody gets around him, but everybody facing forward. Nobody damaged in that deal. Weston Newell trying to make me pay for not picking him because he is starting to get away from these guys half a second already. And we are coming to the end of lap number 2 off turns 3 and 4.
Nelson Webster now getting pressure from Dakota Kuhn as they ride down into 1 and 2. Dakota Kuhn's all over the back of him trying to get a run outside on this time out of 2. Can't make it work. Out of 2 coming down the backstretch. See what he's got for 3 and 4. Nelson Webster's going to be pulling away from him here off of 4 this time by coming down the flat.
We got 3 down, 5 to go, and it's still Kuhn and Webster, the best battle on the track. Weston Newell, 3/4 of a second out in front and caution. Kyle Sargent Let's go back and see if Kyle did. Yeah, Kyle was right in front of Sittler. Oh, and Kyle and Steve get together there. So Sargent and Sittler's car landed on its wheels. He drove it away. It's missing a lot of pieces and parts. I think both cars can be able to continue. I think both cars are damaged because it looks like Sargent's car really not tracking very straight. Sittler looks like he took his into the pits.
Yep.
Yeah, that car's missing the front wing, a nose cone. It's missing all kinds of parts. It's probably got some bent suspension on it, if I was going to guess. Put the car a little hard into 3 and 4, and Sargent's car was in the way, and a little bit of right rear into the left side of that car, and both cars upset over it. Right now, it's Newell, Webster, Kuhn, Leto, Verhey, and Sargent still on the track. Sam Reeks did not make the call to start, even though it does show him in 8th place. He never did make it to the grid. So we still have 6 on the track. They will probably get a 1-lap shootout. Well, how does it compare from the sim world to the real world? I know you don't get to smell the ethanol and, eat all the dirt and all that, Eric, but does it look about right? So 2 to go. The lights should go off on the pace truck. And they do. So we will get a 1-lap shootout. They'll take the green and white flags at the same time when they come off turn 4. The Newell, Webster, and Kuhn are right now your transfer cars. Get the long view here for the final lap. Got our Beer Hill camera sitting up here. Newell back on the throttle. I saw 1 or 2 cars a little slow to go there way at the back, so they are pretty much eliminating themselves, and it looks like Newell going to have a really good lead when they come down the backstretch. He got a great jump on the start. Webster trying to close it down. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, and Kuhn threw it in there deep, but he had nothing for Webster either. Newell going to win it. Webster second. Kuhn going to make the transfer. Verhey, Aledo, Sargent, and Sittler all going to play in the soup in just a minute. So 4 down. Yeah, 4 down, 1 to go. And, yeah, this looks like a pretty good heat race, too. Yep. Yeah, it's looking like a good one. It's going to be the Wicked Energy Gum Casey Kane Sim Racing. And number 9, Chris Brenner on the pole. And 2 is outside, the Zero Machine of Terry Mustard Jr. Row 2 on the inside, the Advanced Enzyme Systems number 12 of Trey Schmidt. And on is outside, the Plan B Sales number 39 of Zach Hollinger. On the inside of the third road, the Hanover number 211. That's going to be Roy. Oh, boy. Sameka. Let's go with that. And to his outside, going to be the Hooters number 20 of Nick Pizzini. And on the fourth row, on the inside, all by himself, Tyler Rominger in the 62 machine. That car looks like it's just got default paint. It could be trading paints. We're having some problems with that today, but I think he does just have regular paint because pretty much everybody else's customs are showing up.
Yeah, I think I've got 1 or 2 cars out there that aren't showing up.
I don't know yet, Tyler. I did speak to Jason, and he did say he would be watching. I'm waiting for him to say hi or send the message. I do know he was very, very busy today, so we'll see what's happening. If he shows up, great. If he says something, cool. And if he doesn't, I can't promise it's going to happen every time, guys, but so far he has been a fantastic sponsor for the Dirt Racing Network, giving you guys all kinds of stuff in beef jerky. All right, green this time off turn number 4. Brenner and Mustard on the front row. Brenner on the throttle. Green flag, going to fly.
Green flag.
The final heat race of the night underway. And look at that. Chris Brenner straight to the lead. Says this is the only track he has any fun at these days. A lot of guys would disagree with that, or they might think he's totally crazy. But it's Brenner, Schmidt, Mustard, Hollinger, your top four right now. And Schmidt trying to put a little pressure on Chris Brenner right there. The Toledo Rocket out in front of this thing. Pulled away off turn 4. Schmidt tried to close it in but couldn't do it. He does it again in 1 and 2, and he loses even more ground. It was half a second. Now it's almost 7/10. And Terry Mustard another half a second back of that. So your top three, Brenner, Schmidt, and Mustard, as they come off turn number 4 to complete lap 2.
The top three, Brenner, Schmidt, and Mustard, have all kind of checked out from the field. They're about 2 seconds away from everybody else behind them. Chris Brenner's going to be running up there on the high side, and Trey Smith's going to try to run him down this time in 3 and 4. See what he can make off the low side, trying to get a good run down the front stretch. Can't get to do it. Chris Brenner, Schmidt, and Terry Mustard going to be following the 3rd spot.
Still Nick Pizzini, Roy Smeka, Tyler Rominger, and Zach Hollinger rounding out the fields. Hollinger's car already in the infield. Something wrong with that one, but there's a challenge for the lead. Schmidt had the inside, got up almost to even. Just too much momentum off the top side for Brenner. 4 laps to go. Schmidt going to do it again. Is he going to throw the slide job all the way? Couldn't get it done that time. Brenner going to hang on to that lead. Yeah, he found something. He closed in right there. He's just not able to get enough momentum down the end of the straightaway to throw that big slide job in. He wants to, but he is still 5-6 car lengths back. You got to be within 1 or 2 and have some forward momentum, closing the gap before you can really make a slide job, especially as tight as the corners and as quick as you go through them here. 2 to go this time. Chris Brenner, the Toledo Rocket, out in front of this one. Schmidt second, Mustard clear in 3rd, clear by about 2 seconds. So right now, if those 3 guys can just keep the rough side dragging, they're going to transfer straight to the AMA and not have to worry about those nasty old consolation races. So we're going to come off turn number 4 this time with Brenner leading Schmidt to the white flag. 1 to go in the final heat race.
Schmidt's going to try to run on the high side as Brenner goes to the low side this time by. See if Schmidt can get a good run down into 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is a little tighter for a slide job, but I don't think he's going to have enough room to clear. He's just going to follow in for that 2nd spot. Chris Brenner this time off of Ford. Trey Smith going to see if he can close the gap. Can't do it. Brenner going to win it. Trey Smith coming up 2nd. Terry Mustard in that 3rd position.
Yeah. Pizzini, Smeka, Rominger, and Hollinger all going into the consolation races. We're going to have our first consolation race next. So we put 15 into the A main already, and we're going to be looking for 5 from the rest of the field. And the C main going to grid out on the front stretch. Looks like we're scheduled for 14 cars. Only 4 are going to make the transfer. Be waiting on a couple of cars here. Sargent on the pole. Rominger going to start outside row number 1. Jacob Bell inside row 2 with Andrew Catee on his outside. Jimmy Barr inside row 3. Steve Sittler on the outside of that row. Row 4 inside, Zach Hollinger. Glenn Richards to his outside. Chris Ridley inside row number 5, and Robert Ridgedale going to be on his outside. It looks like Reeks, Fernberg, Job, and Levan not making the call, so 9. Oh, not even that many. Kyle Sargent, the pole sitter, didn't make the call. So we're going to have 7 cars. Sargent and Bell, neither one made the call, so we're going to move Jimmy Barr all the way up on the inside row to the pole. So it'll be Barr and Rominger. Then it'll be Cote and Hollinger. No, it'll be Cote outside Hollinger. And it'll be Ridley and Richards. And then Ridgedale. So 7 cars. So we lost 7 cars out of our 14 real quick here. So Tyler, he was picking up an order, and he was going to start grouping things up and sending them out. And I'm supposed to talk to him, I think, tomorrow. and I'm going to find out where everything kind of sits at. I know he had an investor meeting today, so I will find out, and I'll let everybody know, hopefully during the broadcast tomorrow night over at Dirt Slingers. All right, green. This time, top 4 going to transfer. Everybody else going to be done for the night. And these guys getting an early jump. The outside of the front row. Put Hollinger out in front. Don't know about the black flag. Oh, a little bit of contact. 39 cars. Hollinger got around right there. I don't know if I think he did bring out the caution. A little close quarters racing, and then just a little bit of contact here. Yep, a little bit of touch in the Nerf bar in that 70 car. Jimmy Barr slowed up just a little, and he was trying to avoid hitting that Nerf bar. And that was enough to bring out the caution. So
when you get to that right angle, it'll throw it out every time.
Yeah, so, well, that thing is completely off. It is Rominger, Cote, Barr, Ridley, Richards, Sittler, Ridgedale, and Hollinger in that order. Yes, Austin, this is iRacing. Oh, that was not the angle that I wanted. A good look from overhead. Good old sky cam, give you a full view of the track. All right, pace truck. The lights will go off this time. And we will have 9 laps left in our C main. Top 4, all that transfer. Everybody else done for the night. These guys trying to get into the feature race. 40 to win, 20 for second, 10 for third. We're waiting to see if Mr. Meat Freaks comes in and throws a little something somebody's way. Lets them get their freak on. Guys, don't forget to drop by the website, meatfreaks.com. Use the code DRN19. Purchase your beef jerky. You're supporting the Dirt Racing Network and all the great racing that you see here. Helping us keep these guys on as we get ready to go back to green. Tyler Rominger takes the green flag, brings us back. He and Cote got away from Barr right there just a little bit. That's going to put Jimmy Barr in a position that, oh my goodness, there it was. Rominger got into turn 2, got the car totally sideways, now gets up onto the Nerf bar of the 70 car, and here's cars upside down into the fence. Sittler again. Steve Sittler's car riding on the fence, and the caution going to come out.
More cars turned down in 4 after that happened. I'm not too sure.
It was Chris Ridley's car. While we were watching Sittler up on the fence, Ridley got down into 3 and 4. And he just got that car way sideways and got it around in front, hit the inside wall very lightly. And that was enough to bring out the caution. I think Jimmy Barr's car was hurt pretty bad from something early in the race, because that car wasn't running right, and he was really slow down the backstretch, and he looped it out in turns 3 and 4 with nobody around him. So it looks like Barr's in the infield. Rominger's car headed for the infield. He's missing the front end of that thing. It looks like the suspension is broken. That hard right, and that car is still going in a straight line. Sittler already in, so we're going to have about 5 cars left in this one. And only going to have about 3 or 4 laps to go in it. Top 4 are going to transfer. Everybody else going to be finished.
One of these cars will be going home.
Yeah, we're going to be sending our first 10 out the door. And then we'll only take 5 from the B. And we'll have a short warm-up session. And then these guys will get out here for 35 laps. Caution laps will be counting. And I would love to see about 30 green flag laps here. I think the field of cars that are in here and the guys that are already transferred through to that feature race, I think they can do it. Track does not look like it's getting all that slick. We're getting ready to go green here, but let's go take a quick peek out the front of Cotee's car. Yeah, this track looks like it's still got plenty. A little bit of wear down the backstretch right there, but they'll go green. They'll have 4 laps left on the board. Cotee, Richards, Ridgedale, and Hollinger. The top 4, Ridley running back there in the 5th spot.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air. 4 to go. Cotee getting out to a good jump out in front of Richards. Ridgedale went inside out on the corner. He's going to grab 3rd. Zach Hollinger still sits in the 4th spot, and Chris Ridley's car way out of shape in 3 and 4, and he is very slow to get the throttle back down. Had to get that car gathered up under him, so he is going to lose several seconds to these guys. That top 4 completely getting away from 5th, and they are all pretty safe right now if they can just keep the car facing forward and make it to the end. Cotee, Richards, Ridgedale, and Hollinger. And Ridgedale out of shape, and he drops from 3rd to 4th. Hollinger got underneath him right there. They are on the 2 to go right here, Nick. And I don't know, these cars look like they're all getting way out of shape.
Yeah, Hollinger's looks like about to be the only one kind of keeping it straight as can be. You know, Andrew Cotee's out front, keeping his car nice and steady, checking away from these guys. Zach Hollinger's going to go down the front stretch to get a little sideways. White flag that time by. Andrew Cotee, make it happen. He's got 1 more turn to go. See that checkered flag this time off of 4.
Cotee, Hollinger, Ridgedale, and Richards going to pick up the transfer spots. Going to go from the C to the back of the B. We'll see those 4 guys again here in just a minute. And I see the man of the hour in the chat. Hello, Jason. How are you, buddy? Some of the guys were asking, is Mr. Meat Freaks putting up the meat again tonight? And Sittler says it's slick as hell out there and it's very bumpy. So, probably take his word for it. 17 cars slated to be in the B main. Only 5 going to make the transfer. Going to be Zane Scott, the 37 car on the pole to his outside. Going to be John Bragman in the 29. Row 2 inside. Cody Brewer in the 6. Justin Verhey, the 53 car to his outside. Inside row number 3, that's the 20 car of Nick Pizzini. Brian Cross on his outside. Row 4, George Furch, the 71 on the inside. The 35, John Coots on the outside. Sam Leto in the 05 on the inside of row 5 with Royce Mecca on his outside. That's the 211. Cody Batten, the 4 car inside row 6 with Tyler Newhart, the 31 on the outside. The 22 of Nathan Brown inside row 7. Andrew Cotee from the C main. 118 on his outside. Zach Hollinger in the 39 inside of row 8 with Robert Ridgedale in the 114 on the outside of that. And on the back row all by himself, the final transfer car from our C main. That's the 82 of Glenn Richards. 17 cars. 5 moving on. 12 more headed for the house. Hey, it's a web-based game, Gavin. iRacing, you can go to iRacing.com, see if your computer meets the minimum specs, and then it's an annual subscription and content, and pretty realistic. A lot of fun. There's all kinds of racing. I mean, there's all kinds of road cars, several dirt cars, and plenty of oval content for everybody. Got one flicking and flashing a little bit. Cody Brewer's car just a little on the warpy side. All right. 5 transfer. Everybody else done for the night. You ready for this one, Nick? Might get a little wild, a little woolly.
I'm ready. I'm interested to see how often these guys stay green. I'm hoping they can do it the whole time. I know these guys can. Zane Scott's going to be looking this time off of 4 for that green flag. This time green is
flag,
out.
green flag.
Scott wasted no time. He punched the throttle, and that car flat took off, and we didn't even get to turn 1, and we had cars in trouble. Hollinger's car, and I'm not sure. Is that Glenn Richards? No, it is not. Is that Ridgedale's car? No, it is. I don't know who is upside down. Smecka's car was upside down on the front stretch. Let's see what happened there. Oh, got a little help. Got across his nose. He got across Hollinger's nose. I'm not sure. The 35 car maybe was who kind of got that whole thing going. Coots. When he punched the throttle, that car turned dead to the left. And that put everybody in jeopardy. So we're going to have 2 already out of this. Smeka's car is finished. Hollinger's car looks like it's in the infield. Probably not coming back out. Everybody kind of slowing and stopping on the track. I think some of these guys might have got trapped in behind the pace truck. So they're going to get waved around when we get the 1 to go signal.
Yeah, it was such an early caution like that. Pace truck kind of come out halfway in the field, messed them up here a little bit. They'll get it straightened out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
1 to go.
Yeah, it's Scott Brewer, Bregman, Verhey, Pizzini, Furch, Cross, Leto, Batten, and Coots, your top 10. Still going to have about 15 of these guys left. They're going to have plenty of laps. Going to have at least 10 laps. Don't forget, guys, if you're on Twitch or YouTube, say hi in the chat. We can see you. Everybody go to meatfreaksjerky.com. DRN19 will be your code.
We are not going green.
Help support the great racing that you're seeing on the Dirt Racing Network. Our great sponsor, been known to give away 5 bags to the winner just the last few nights that we've raced. I'm hoping he's still around and he sends me a signal here pretty quick of what we're going to do. As soon as we know, we'll pass it along to you. I think they got the field sorted out. They added 1 more lap to the caution period, so the lights are going to go out this time on the pace truck. It's still going to be Scott Brewer, Bregman, Verhey, and Ponzi, the top 5. Well, that got pretty interesting right at the start there, Nick.
Right at the start, but they got it straightened out now. I think they're going to be single file this time and maybe give each other a little bit more room. I know they only got 10 laps now, but that's what happens when someone makes a mistake. It kind of ruins it for everybody.
Well, I can definitely end your night real quick. I know that 6-car Cody Brewer is still blinking. Don't know if I'm the only one seeing it. We are about to go back to green. 9 laps still on the board, and Scott's on the throttle. Green flag in the air. That 6-car of Brewer falling back, and I think he might be falling out because that internet connection was really bad. That's going to let Scott have a giant cushion now because Bregman had to wait so that he didn't get the black flag. And here comes Brewer back. Brewer now sits in the 3rd spot. Cars in the fence. Brian Cross's car? Yes, it was. I don't think he was the cause. I think there was contact with somebody else, and I think he got a little out of shape, either trying to avoid her because he got a little right-reared in here. Oh, no, he got down into the 05 car, came in and pushed several cars together. Leto got down in there, and he hit Verhey. I think Cross was in there. Couple of cars, maybe even Newhart's car was in that. Yeah, he's got damage. So several cars involved in that one, and that's going to end the night for 1 or 2 more of these guys. I think Verhey's car is in the infield. I think Leto's car is already in the infield. Yeah, Cody Brewer's in the infield. That warp is just really bad on that car. Newhart took it in. Cross in 10th, your final car on the track. So we'll run through your top 10 real quick. Scott, Bregman, Furch, Batten, Brown, Cote, Ridgedale, Richards, Pizzini, and Cross. Only cars left on the track. That got exciting.
Yeah, it got real exciting. I think they're still going to have about 4 laps to run here, so if you're sitting back in that 10th position, you're really going to have to make your run sooner than later.
I see, I see it's got about 6 this time, so maybe 1 more, maybe 5 laps. If they're going to get there, they better get to moving. I know that much.
Lights are off this time, so we're gonna go green. Gotta make it happen to get into that A main so you don't go home tonight.
You know, I ask the same question a lot of nights, Tyler, because I think this place is a hell of a lot of fun to race on. It's a driver's track. You can't just use your hands and plant your foot here. You got to use your feet, got to use your hands, and you dang sure got to think to get around here, especially when you're in traffic. Pace truck headed to the infield. Green flag going to fall off a turn number 4. Scott on the throttle, and we're racing once again. B main, top 5 transferring through. Everybody else done for the night. Scott, Bragman, Furch, Batten, and Brown, your top 5 right now. Brown, the 22 car, and oh, we got one out of shape. We're about to get another caution.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Furch got way out of shape in turns 1 and 2. He got down here on the high side, and I think he put that right rear way up over those marbles. Yeah, and it just let go. He didn't have anything to plan on. Got down, got into the side of Brown. Brown's car into the outside fence. So Brown looked like maybe he's got enough damage that car might not be able to continue. He is headed to the work area. Furch tagging up to the back of the field, or is he headed in? He might be headed in too. No, he goes on and goes past the entry. So 9th place for him right now. So we might have about a 1-lap shootout left in this one. Scott, Bragman, Batten, Cote, and Ridgedale, the top 5. Those will be your transfer cars. Richards, Cross, Pizzini, and Furch still on track. Well, you know where to find me. Always in my team speak, buddy. Do I need my crash helmet when you come in? I know when Tyler wants to talk to me, I might be in trouble.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, when the drivers want to talk to the broadcaster, something crazy probably happening. There he is, popping into TeamSpeak just now. I'm not bringing him in here till we're all done or we're on break, whichever. All right, lights off on the pace truck. We're going to get a green and white, and then the checkered. So a 1-lap shootout. Zane Scott going to lead us back to it. Bragman, Batten, Cote, and Ridgedale. Right now, our transfer cars. He said I might need my crash helmet. All right, let me get it. When we go to intermission, I'll go ahead and go dig it out of the closet, and I'll have it here ready to go. All right, the pace truck made a hard left into the infield. Scott waiting to punch that throttle off turn number 4. He does it. Good jump for him, and he's going to lead us to the green and white. Bragman now sitting in second. Batten right in behind that. They're going to come down the backstretch. Scott, Bragman, Cote, Batten, Cote, and Ridgedale, the top 5. That battle for that 5th spot. We're going to watch it. Looks like everybody else going to make it. Scott's going to win it. Bragman second. Batten in third. Cote and Ridgedale battling over those last 2 spots. And both cars make the transfer. Ridgedale in 4th and Cote in the 5th and final spot. Cross, Pizzini, Furch, Richards, and Brown all done for the night. So our field is set. These guys are going to have about 3 minutes of warm-up. And while they warm up, we're going to let you know the official sponsor for the Dirt Racing Network, Meat Freaks Jerky. Use the promo code DRN19. Drop by meatfreaksjerky.com. Make your purchases today. You're helping out the Dirt Racing Network to keep great racing on here for you. You can find Meat Freaks Jerky on Facebook at Meat Freaks Jerky. Drop by, give them a follow and a like. Many, many different kinds of jerky there, and the list is so long it would take me about 5 minutes to read it. But drop by there, find your favorite, make a purchase. The new website, I think, is supposed to be coming up pretty quick. They're working on a brand new one, but they left the old one up during that transition period. So don't forget to drop by there. Let Jason know you've been there by using the code DRN19. He can tell where you found us, where you found them, and how you got to them. let these guys have their warm-up session here. We know we have 20 cars in the feature. Only got about 16 or 17 of them out here taking laps. I see a couple more rolling out of the pits now. So once we reach the end of the warm-up session, these guys will get lined up. We'll run down the field as quick as we can, get ready to go. They got 35 laps on the board. Caution laps are going to count. All right, we know who's in the field now. So who are we going to have for a winner?
I don't know. Man, Eiler looked really good, but I'm not too sure. There's a lot of good drivers in this feature here. I don't know. I think I see Chris Brenner winning this one, coming out on top. I haven't really seen his name pop out too much, but normally when he does, he's usually at the top of the field. So I'm gonna go with Chris tonight. What about you, Roger?
I know the Rocket's going to do one of two things. He's either going to win it or he's going to fence it. It's hard to say. Love you, Chris. Just teasing, buddy. You know, I don't know. I would have to give a little bit of a nod to Eiler for the way that he ran, but Tyler Schell absolutely destroyed that field in his heat race. He was a whole straightaway ahead of those guys, and he's going to start on the inside of the front row. I'm probably going to have to go with that 85 car. I'm going to pick Schell. Then if he wins and I picked him, maybe he'll take it easy on me in this post-race thing he wants. Who knows?
Uh-oh. I would still bring your helmet. You might need it.
Oh, I'm going to bring my helmet, my fire suit, and my padded gloves.
Oh, boy.
Might even run in the other room, grab my steel-toed boots, just in case. All right, warm-up session winding down. Going to get ready to grid these guys out on the front stretch. And as stated, the 85 machine of Tyler Schell going to be on the pole. Kevin Hanley, the 110 on his outside. Or row 2 going to be the 5 of Braden Eiler and 222 of Weston Newell. There's another guy could win this race. Chris Brenner on the inside of row 3 with Chris Fisher to his outside. The 13 of Brandon Steele inside the 2 of Bryce Bailey. And that is row number 4. Row 5, Nelson Webster and Trey Schmidt. Row 6 going to be Brett Strickler and Kyle Stoltz. David Flick and Dakota Kuhn, teammates, making up row number 7. Row 8, Terry Mustard and Zane Scott. The 9th row going to be John Bragman and Cody Batten. And in the final row going to be Andrew Cote and Robert Ridgedale. I think I'll stay with my pick. I think Schell gets it done here tonight. I think he is chased closely by the 5 car right there. I think Eiler. And I think maybe Weston Newell might give himself a podium tonight.
There's so many good cars in this field tonight, Roger. It's really hard to pick because it's hard to narrow them down. Yeah, I've seen all these guys battle so much, and each one of them can get the upper hand here and there. So it's real hard to pick.
One more time around behind the iRacing Pace Truck, and then we are going to go green for 35 laps, whether they are green or pacing behind that Pace Truck, and I certainly hope that it's mostly green. I encourage the drivers at Dirt Slingers to give more than they take every night, and I hope these guys recognize that, and they do the same. This can be a fantastic race, and this is a good track for that. All these guys in here very capable of putting on a hell of a show for the fans, so we'll get ready to drop the green flag on this one when we come off of turn number 4. This time, 20 cars for 35 laps. Top 3 in the pay window. 40 for first, 20 for second, and 10 for third at the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. As the Pace Truck makes its way to the infield, and Tyler Schell jumps on the throttle. Green flag gonna fly. And we are underway. This time down through 1 and 2 and all the way to the outside. The Cadillac man had to go to the outside of Newell, and there goes Eiler. Braden Eiler clipped the inside. coming off turn 2, and oh my. He went for a whale of a ride right there. Found him a tire right here. No, he clipped that wall and it lifted that left side up and shot him straight across the track. He collects, man, is that Brett Strickler or Brandon Steele that died in that wreck? I think that's Brandon Steele's car, the 13. He tumbled all the way down the backstretch. So Eiler and Steele out of this one. Strickler escaped it. I saw the white with the black and red on it, and I thought that was Strickler's car that was involved. It was actually Brandon Steele. So a tough night for those two. What do you think of that nonsense?
Well, I think my pick's right behind your picks. I think we're going to have a battle for this one up front.
The Rocket's going to go have a look at the bottom and see what is down there. Actually, you might be looking for whatever's left to the left side of Braden Eiler's car right there. These guys are going to look for grip anywhere that they can find it. I promise you that. But Brenner, usually a rip-the-lip kind of guy, but since there's been so many changes and so much taken away from the cushion to bring the two lines back together, some of these guys are finding it very difficult to make the transition.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's a big change running the top. You got to know where that cushion's at. Got to know where to put the right rear. Running the bottom, you got to keep the car in a perfect angle to get around the corner. And it's a big change.
Yeah, Kevin, we can't hit the trifecta now, buddy. Eiler's out of it, but the top 3 picks, we can still make those work out. We can get 2 of them anyway. So it's Shell, Brenner, Hanley, Newell, and Webster, your top 5. They're getting ready to go back to green this time off turn number 4. 4 down when we take the green. 31 to go. 1 caution. Shell cut from the top to the bottom, jumped on the throttle, and he had a train behind him, and they took the green flag. But there goes Brenner right to the top side. Shell's looking for the grip down on the inside. He finds a little, squirts away just a little bit. Weston Newell trying to hang on to third. He got around Hanley. But Webster, Fisher, and Bailey all giving chase, and they're 3 wide at the exit of turn 4 on lap 5.
Weston still on the outside. Newell's right there on the...
Well, Weston Newell way out of shape, and he fell back. Webster got around him, and that let Fisher get up to the outside. Kevin Hanley right there was in the middle. Thought better of it, backed out down the backstretch, and now he's going to try to make it 3 wide again down the front stretch again. Thinks better of it and backs it in behind Newell, which is right in front of Bailey. These guys back here, this is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. All right here battling. This is a great race. They're 3 wide in turns 3 and 4. Newell's now got himself solidly up into the 4th position. Brenner's still giving chase out front. Tyler Shell 1.2 seconds ahead of Chris Brenner. Brenner working the top side. Shell working the bottom, and Shell making that work. He is starting to gap Chris Brenner. Like I said, the Rocket known for ripping the lip. And every once in a while, he'll get a little too close to that fence like he almost did right there in turn 1. We'll see what that does for him as this night progresses. If they stay green, I don't know. Shell's picking up a couple of tenths a lap on him right now. But Nelson Webster solidly in 3rd now. Weston Newell up to 4th. And Bryce Bailey has gotten away from that big gaggle behind him. And he's put himself in the top 5 as we've completed 10.
Kevin Hanley, Chris Fisher, and David Flick going to be battling for that 6th, 7th, and 8th spot down the back stretch. David Flick's going to get pushed back into 8th as he caught the inside wall, looked like there. Chris Fisher going to be taking pressure now from outside of the 110 car. Kevin Hanley's going to be ripping the lip on the outside of 2, taking it down the back stretch, getting away from all them guys right there.
Yeah, still Shell out in front. He has got 2.7 seconds on Chris Brenner. Brenner's still working the top side, but Nelson Webster now saw what Shell was doing. He started working the bottom, and he has started to close the gap in. The Toledo Rocket going to be under fire from the 15 machine. Weston Newell, consistently a bottom feeder. Weston really likes the bottom just about every track. And he is going to start to try to claw his way back into this top three. Bryce Bailey running on the bottom, sitting in the 5th spot. Hanley on the top side. He's running 6 and able to hold on, but Kyle Stoltz took 3rd away on a last lap, last corner pass last week in Eldora, and he was running the bottom that night. He's running the bottom again, and he's up to the 7th spot. David Flick in 8th, got a little bit of a challenge from Fisher in the 5 car on the outside there for 9th, and Trace Mitten running inside your top 10. But I tell you, I am very impressed with Tyler Shell's run tonight. 3.6 seconds this time coming off of turn number 4 as the battle for second starting to heat up. They're side by side, and Webster on the inside, the Rocket. Chris Brenner running up the outside, and he is staying faithful to that cushion. But I think he's going to lose this battle right here off of turn number 2 as they're going to head down the backstretch almost to the halfway point.
Nelson Webster trying to get the run out this time off of 4, but Highside's still going to be there on that top. Chris Brenner's still run the top. Looks like Webster got it at the line. He's making that bottom side work. Chris Brenner now falling back a little bit down the backstretch. Webster's got his car out in front of him. Weston Newell's right behind him as well. See if he can make this inside work, get around Chris Brenner.
Yeah, it looks like the inside got just a little bit of an advantage. Takes a little bit more laps to get around. You got to be patient. Stay very smooth with your throttle inputs. As Newell clipped the wall off too that time, and he loses all the ground that he had made up to these 2nd and 3rd place cars of Webster and Brenner. But Webster has secured 2nd now. He's about a full car length ahead of Chris Brenner, and Brenner just will not come off the top side. He's waiting for the top to come back in, and that might be what we're witnessing right here. So he starts to close the gap back up. We just crossed the halfway point. Tyler Shell, 4.4 seconds at the line that time over Nelson Webster. Webster about a car and a half ahead of Brenner. Weston Newell still run in 4th. Bryce Bailey in 5th. Kyle Stoltz now up to the 6th spot. He's bringing David Flick and Kevin Hanley with him, and they are trying to run down the 5th place car of Bryce Bailey. But Tyler Shell absolutely rolling the field, and he's going to start working traffic here. He's made it up to the back end. He's caught John Bragman about half a straightaway. 2 or 3 more laps, and he is going to be into some lap traffic. That might change the dynamic of this thing with cars running all over the place. He's going to have to tiptoe.
Back there in that 2nd, Brenner's actually got the 2nd spot back this time at the line. They're battling hard still in that 2nd and 3rd position. Nelson still on the bottom side, Brenner still on the top. Brenner's getting a great run off too. Down the backstretch, he's gonna go to the low side this time. Kind of block Webster.
Oh, contact as Brenner slowed. They both get them facing forward. They're each going to lose 2 or 3 spots here, but they kept the cars facing forward. That was such gentle contact, and I thought when Brenner was that far sideways, that would definitely trigger the caution, but it did not. And now these guys went from running 2nd and 3rd to running for 4th and 5th, and they're still battling like they're running for the win. But Weston Newell has now moved his way into the 2nd spot, 7 seconds behind Tyler Shell. Bryce Bailey in 3rd, Chris Brenner, Nelson Webster, your top 5. I want to go look at Shell as he is starting to get into traffic. He is now caught up to Terry Mustard. That 0 car right in front of him here. He goes to the high side off 4. Shell to the bottom. Clears him easily down into turn 1. 2 more cars. A lap down. Andrew Cottee, the next car, and he is right in front of Shell. We're going to be down to 11 to go this time when they cross the start-finish line. It's Shell, Newell, Bailey, Brenner, and Webster.
Shell this time is to lead up to 7.8. He's out there showing them how it's done this time. Newell back in that 2nd spot. Got Bryce Bailey in the 3rd, and Chris Brenner still in that 4th position on the high side, still trying the high side, making sure that high sides work. Maybe come back to him. He's going to try to give Bryce Bailey a run for his money this time out of 4.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom may be starting to go away. That Brenner has finally gotten that car to settle in on the top side. And he is starting to make up some of the time he lost when he and Nelson Webster got together. He's going to make that challenge on the outside. All the momentum to the 9 car, and he's got a half a car lead down into 3 and 4. Takes it right back to the inside. He paid dearly for that the last time he did it, and he goes across the track, slides down on the high side, and loses the spot. Right back to Bailey as he found the right rear in the outside wall ever so gently, had to back out of the throttle. These two guys actually running Weston Newell down. Newell 9 seconds behind Shell as Shell now cleared the lap traffic and has a lot of empty space in front of him. He got around Coty Zane Scott, the next car, and that's a full straightaway. The gap, but the battle's starting to heat up for second as Newell getting closed in on by Bailey, Brenner, and Webster. So we might see a little bit of a battle for these next two podium spots as Shell has this one easily in hand. They're going to come to about 6 to go when he comes across the line the next time. Shell off 4 this time. 6 laps to go. Weston Newell 9.7 seconds behind him. Shell going into 1. Newell in the middle of 3 and 4. And Bryce Bailey is right behind that. About 8-9 car lengths. And Chris Brenner got around Nelson Webster. And he has gapped him a little bit. Now he's going to try to put some pressure on Bailey and see if he can pick up the final podium spot. And he's not going to do it if he keeps banging the right rear off the outside fence.
Tyler Shell now with a 10-second lead out in front of that second position of Weston Newell. You got Bryce Bailey following him right there. Chris Brenner trying to make some headway, trying to get that third podium spot back. Looks like Nelson Webster is going to drop back to 8th position. I'm not too sure what's going on with him. Looks like he's pulling into the pits.
I think that car went away, and he might have picked up a little damage, nicking the wall here and there, but he is going to fall out of this race. Kyle Stote's going to move into that 5 position. Tyler Shell, 10.5 seconds, and he is down to 3 laps to go. That time under the flag stand as he comes off turn 2. This time Weston Newell across in second. Bryce Bailey running in the 3rd spot. That is your podium right now, but don't look out. In the back, oh, Brenner almost got into him. He got the car way out of shape. He almost got Bailey on the tail tank when they came through 1 and 2. And he had to give up a bunch of space right there. So that's going to put it down to Bailey and Newell if Bailey can get there. 2 to go for Shell. Shell already heading into 3 and 4. Weston Newell second place in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And Shell going to see the white flag of this time. One more time around. Lap traffic in front of him, but I don't think it's going to become a factor. He's got clear sailing all the way to the checks on this one. Weston Newell and Bryce Bailey running 2nd and 3rd. That's your paying positions, your top 3. Tyler Shell through 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Shell going to pick up the victory. We'll watch Newell as Newell now has stretched it out. Looks like Weston Newell going to come home 2nd. And Bryce Bailey going to pick up 3rd. Let me grab race control real quick. If you would, get the top 3 to park on the front stretch for us for interviews. Thank you. So we'll get our top 3. Shell, Newell, and Bailey in here. The rest of these guys can jump on out.
I want it to be known that that was a win by 11.4 seconds.
Yeah, almost 11.5 seconds. Shell put a whooping on them tonight. So we'll get Shell around on the front stretch. Weston Newell pulling. Oh, Bryce Bailey missed everything. He's going to probably have to back that car up and get down in there. All right, we'll get the pause on. We'll get a look at Tyler Shell's car here. All right, that's going to work out very good. We will put Bryce Bailey for 3rd. Let's see if Bailey is in for the interview. We'll give him a minute to get here. I know Weston is here. We'll see if Bryce makes it in. Bryce has the address. I know that he comes and races Dirt Slingers on Mondays and Thursdays, so I expect him to show up here pretty quick. We'll give him just a minute. But Tyler Shell, 11.449 seconds over Weston Newell. Newell about 0.8 of a second ahead of Bryce Bailey. That's your top 3. Well, David, it's a PC simulator. You get it at iRacing.com. It is a lot of fun. These guys have a great time. Still waiting to see if Mr. Bailey. There's Mr. Bailey. He's in there.
I put him in here.
Cool. Bryce Bailey, you got a copy. Let me make sure I get your volume real good here. All right, man. Top 3 finish. A hard-fought race there. You battled several cars early in the going, and then about the last 5-6 laps, just kind of had your sights set on the back of that 222, man. Talk to us about that race and picking up a podium finish tonight.
Started off the night like a little slow. I mean, it was a little sluggish. Wasn't used to 30 gallons, but we rebounded well. The beginning was a little hectic for sure, and then once we found our groove, I was going for the top 2 there. Nobody was sketching Tyler.
Yeah, it looked like Shell had his car pretty much dialed in, and he ran the bottom pretty much the whole race. Was that where you found all of your speed, or were you able to work the top at all tonight?
On heat races and qual, I used the top, but in the feature, I mean, there's really no need. I saw Chris trying it, and every now and then he could get something going, but it wasn't very consistent.
All right, Nick, you got anything for Bryce?
Well, Chris was right there behind you the whole time. Did you feel like he was putting some pressure on you and maybe try to get by you there at the last few laps?
Definitely would. I saw him peek his nose with like 6 to go, and I'm like, oh boy, we better settle up. And then we started to catch the 222, and I was like, extra $25 would have been nice.
All right, man. When you come home third, you got some sponsors you want to thank, and we'll let you go celebrate. Great podium finish.
I'd like to thank Coach's Pizza, my team, Brew Crew Racing, fun group of guys. They're awesome. My mom and dad for putting this new wheel together. It's awesome. Thank you.
All right, man. Congratulations. Enjoy the cash pickup tonight.
Thanks. Have a great night, sir.
All right, your third place finisher, that was Bryce Bailey. Let's get second in here. Weston Newell, you got a copy?
I got you.
Let me make sure I got your level good here for your volume, buddy. All right, man. Fantastic run. I'm sorry I didn't pick you to win it. I did pick you to finish in the top 3. You come home second. Talk to us about that race and how the track changed from the beginning to the end of that feature.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever going to win it, Roger, but I was just happy to run up front. And for the most part, we had a great clean race as far as I could tell. I was running the slider line, but that kind of went away, I noticed in the warm-up. So I just stuck down at the bottom. It was working there for a while. I was watching, I think, Nelson and Chris in front of me, and they were side by side, and I was almost gaining on them or staying with them. So I was just kind of just biding my time, hoping I'd get lucky, and I think they got together in 3 and 4, and I barely squeaked around the outside, and that's all it took. I knew Bryce was behind me. I didn't know where. They don't run a mirror, but I noticed that a couple times he started getting closer and closer, so I was kind of worried, but I just hung down on the bottom and made it work.
What do you got for Weston, Nick?
Well, did you sense any pressure in the last few laps? Maybe that Bryce Bailey was trying to pressure you any at all, and were you kind of worried about him there at the last few laps?
I knew if I just stayed calm and smooth and kept doing what I was doing, it was going to be hard for him. So if he beat me, he was going to have to really beat me. So that lap car there, I had a lap car like with 2 to go or something. I kind of made contact with him coming off the corner. I was down low. He kind of skated up, and I think he was trying to get back down low and didn't realize I was there. But that was kind of scary. But other than that, I knew he was back there, so I couldn't mess up. But I never really felt like he was going to pass me.
All right, man. Well, a fantastic run. You come home second. You pick up the $20. Any sponsors you need to give a shout-out to, and we'll let you celebrate.
Yeah, you guys here at Dirt Racing Network, first and foremost. Brody Wilhelm for putting this whole thing together, DS, CCS, and sponsors Wicked Cushion, deadhead.com.au, my buddy Drew Neal over at 19 Design, 410 Media Solutions, Brian Otter, John Chris, all the guys over at Pick Me Up, Rocky, thanks for watching, Tyler. Yeah, shout out to Tyler Shell. Great race to him, and good job. He was class of the field tonight. So thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for chatting with us. Look forward to seeing you another night, Weston.
Yep, thanks, Roger.
All right, your second place finisher, Weston Newell. And then we'll get him in here, and hopefully he'll not make me put my helmet on just yet. Tyler Shell, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right, man. A dominating performance, 11.5 seconds, man. Talk to us about the race. You worked a little bit of lap traffic there and picking up this victory.
Yeah, just I found something in practice on the bottom and I liked it. So, and I didn't want to show anybody, so I didn't put any time down there on the bottom. And I just was gonna run there because I put a bunch of laps there down on the bottom today in the one session Brody had up, and I felt comfortable. So.
The lap time, when you got to it, I mean, the cars were kind of spread out a little, but they were running kind of weird lines. Any apprehension when you got to them, or were you just going to, do what you had to do to get around?
Just try to do what I had to do to get around. They're probably new to this slick track, so just wait for them to mess up. I mean, they're gonna mess up, so just wait for them to slip up and get around them.
All right, man. Well, I'm sure you got plenty of sponsors to thank. You pick up the big check tonight. What you got on the car?
Thanks to the team, I was up SimSport, and then Elba's up TV, Motorsports Beat, BSA, Dude Products, Never the Wall Photographs, and Brody putting this on. You guys broadcasting.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Congratulations on the win. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night over at Dirt Slingers.
Yep, for sure.
All right. That is your winner, Tyler Shell. Weston Newell picks up second. Bryce Bailey in the third spot. Final thoughts on a great race tonight, Nick?
I think it was an amazing night, Roger. We heat races, we had a few cautions in them, which is normal, and C main, B main kind of scared me a little bit. A few cautions in them, but man, I had the one caution right off the A main, and I was like, oh, I hope these guys can straighten out, and they did, and they ran the rest of the way green, and Tyler definitely put on a show tonight, man. Shout out to that guy. He knows what he has to do to get it done here at Williams Grove.
Yeah, tonight I have to say was one of the better Williams Grove races I've seen, and probably the best one in several months. But a great job by all these guys out here tonight. Congratulations again to Tyler Shell picking up the win. I know I got to talk to him again here in just a few minutes, but I think that's going to do it for us tonight. For myself, Mike Peterson, and Nick McGeethy, we thank everybody for tuning in. Look for us tomorrow night, Dirt Slingers, 8 Eastern, right back here on the Dirt Racing Network. And until then, guys, keep it dirty. Good night, everybody.